everybody. Hey, what is going on? It is me, Kirsten. This is the It's Giving Mystical podcast, and this is the card of the week for the week ahead of October 27th. How are we doing? October is coming to a quick, swift, exciting conclusion. And remember that the energy of October was asking two things for us. It was asking us to take seriously our need for rest and replenishment, to take seriously our need for rejuvenation, for nourishment, for quiet. And I imagine that for many of us, that was both an invitation that we could lean into in certain moments and an invitation that was quite challenging in other moments. When you are called to rest, when you are called to take exquisite care of yourself, usually what happens is there are triggers that remind you of the ways you haven't allowed that for yourself, or the ways your life is not set up for that. Life will continually ask for your attention. People, community, relationships, work, art, projects, nature, it's constantly calling to you. And the Wheel of Fortune layered on top of that brought new into your life, brought new experiences, new people, new conversations, new locations, new inspiration into your life. So there might have been this push-pull between, hey, I feel this need to rest and just recover from whatever. And then I also feel this pulsing excitement of what is next, what is new. And the balancing of those things was really with us in October. That Six of Swords of staying in the boat, keeping the boat from flipping over. Like, I don't know what's happening, but I know I don't want to get wet, that kind of feeling. And then last week, this idea of how noisy it is, how much of our movement is driven maybe not from our own voice, how much of our movement is driven by voices that come from the past or that come from current dynamics, or that come from future dreams. We often, and I want to say that it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's beautiful to be in a relationship. It's beautiful to care about what other people want. It's beautiful to care about stories and fables and art in the world. And sometimes we get moved by that in a way that is a little bit more unconscious than we might like it to be. So the idea of hearing your voice, taking the time, the quiet, the rest, you need to hear your voice and hear what is true in your heart and in your breath and in your body in this moment, and how much you are or are not honoring that. And listen, man, it's all good. It's all good. Completely appropriate and right to notice that you're not honoring your voice and be like, hey, I see that. That feels interesting, not good. Curious, what's happening? And just to be with it. So much of spiritual work, when we're talking about true like self-compassion and self-shepherding, is about being patient. Okay, this is happening. I don't even know. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what it means. And I'm okay just sitting in the space of discovery. That was very much with us in October, so wondering how that's landing at your doorstep today. I feel like there was a deeper realization of what you might need to do or change or be in the world to fully or more fully embrace the sacred quality of your life. I saw a quote by David White on Instagram the other day, and just this idea of the next level of maturation, of development, being the realization of how brief this all is, how quickly this goes. And he talks about you won't always have hands to touch, and you won't always have air to breathe, and you won't always have a nose to smell the person you love or smell the lilies in my garden. Like, you won't always have that, and it all goes by very quickly. And in this week ahead where the full moon is with us Saturday, Sunday, maybe you're gonna have, I don't know, a deeper knowing around that, a deeper knowing of how precious you are, how sacred you are, how precious life is, how brief, how quick, how sacred. How do you want to be living it? What do you want to be enjoying and celebrating right now? What do you want to be in full devotion to? Where is your deeper yes? We talked about that, right? Where is your deeper yes? Knowing that all the no's that might be a little more uncomfortable are actually revealing to us space so we can say a full yes to our deeper yes. That is going to be coming up for us in this week ahead. We have the 10 of Wands. 10s are beyond completion. In tarot, 9 is completion. 10 is like, I got too much. I got a little more than I need to kind of wrap this up. And sometimes that means I have a little more than I need, so it overflows into the community, into legacy, into family, in the idea of the 10 of Cups or the 10 of Pentacles. Sometimes with the 10 of Swords, it takes us to completion that we can't reach on our own. We get tangled in our own thoughts, and the 10 of Swords is like, no, baby, this is really over. It's really over now. And the 10 of Wands is kind of this awareness of the ways you're sticky, the ways you're grabby, the ways you're holding on to things that are not meant to be held onto. So human and sweet and cute and also deeply uncomfortable. The Wands card, the 10 of Wands, is this like figure hunched over holding these 10 wild wands in the most uncomfortable way, Wands are our fire energy, right? So it is our energetic body, it is our Kundalini, it is our creativity, our inspiration, our sexuality, our passion. Fire energy is not meant to be caged. It's not meant to be grasped. It's not meant to be held. Fire energy is meant to fly free. One of my favorite writers about the Minor Arcana talks about the 10 of Wands, and she says, you have to really feel in this card that these wands are live. They're live energy. And one of the things I always say about wands is they are meant to fly free. They want to fly free. They want to be birthed from you. They want to be shared and shown with the world. Fire energy wants to be seen. It wants to sparkle and warm and interact and consume and be free. There's nothing about fire energy that works in suffocation, that works in bondage and binding. But the 10 of Wands is a figure trying to bind this, trying to hold this fire energy. And that can mean so many different things. It means a lot of different things. But what I will say about this week ahead is that something feels quite heavy. Something is just too heavy to carry anymore. There's that saying, right? It's not the load you carry, but how you carry it. Yeah, maybe. But this week, maybe it's actually the load you carry. Maybe there's something that you need to put down, something that wants to get put to rest. In this full moon moment, the kind of closing of this October eclipse portal, but the opening of this next cycle, this next thinning of the veil, there's a writer who talks about in October the idea that the veil thins right around the 31st, right around All Souls Day, All Saints Day, and then it regrows or reinvigorates, and that's its own type of seal, its own type of completion of the year, and its own type of birth of the year to come. This week ahead, you have an awareness around what you would like to put down before you begin anew. That feels like the most important message. What are you carrying that just feels too heavy? That is just a struggle. That just makes you uncomfortable. It's something to think about, and you have the support of this full moon to see it with pretty clear eyes. One of the other thoughts that comes up in the 10 of Wands, and I'll just share it with you, is that wands, like I said, are meant to fly free. We get graspy around wands when we feel like it won't stay, or it feels good and we want to keep it, or it feels good and we feel like excited and impressed and turned on by our life, and we don't want that feeling to go away. The singular lesson of the wand is that it will always come back. Like, life will not be denied. Life will not be denied. Energy does not die, it just changes form. And one of the most beautiful things you can do with the 10 of Wands energy is open your hands, baby. Open your hands and just lay down what no longer works for you, what you can no longer carry, and say, what else? Show me what else. Show me how else to do this. Show me that life doesn't quit. Like, show me that life goes on, and you will see that. That will appear for you. And one of the most beautiful, generous things you can do is the releasing of these things that you don't want to carry anymore, the releasing of these things that feel like a burden, and let them fly free. Let them find their way back to the sun. Let them find their way to new hearts, new fires, to new hearths. Like, let them find their way home, whatever that means for fire. Any instinct you have to keep something because it feels good. You can see this in relationships and sexuality, right? Like, you have a lover or a connection and it feels so good and you feel like, I'm awake and I'm alive again, and oh my God, I love it. That's you. That's your fire energy. The person might have inspired it, might have lit it up, might have shared it with you, but that good feeling, that comes from you. Keeping it, holding it tight, doesn't keep the good feeling there. It just turns it into a type of warped binding that doesn't really serve you. So how can you in your relationships have more of an open hand, have more of a appreciation? Like I said, life is short and sweet, and we never know what is going to come together and what is going to fall away. Can you be with what comes together, like with deep appreciation and gratitude and awareness? We're talking about this in Women's Circle last week, 2 weeks ago. You know, life is difficult right now in the world for many people, and when it's easy, when it feels good, what do you do with that? And that's like an active question. Most of us kind of push right past it. How present can you be with the fact that sometimes life is okay? Sometimes you are safe. Sometimes it is easy. How can you make it more so? How can you sink into the bathtub of what that is versus hop up and move on? You can see this with art, the way that you get an idea or you have an inspiration and you just are lit up and you're so excited and you're in flow, and then you complete it or it shifts into something new and you get sticky with oh my God, what if I never have another great idea? What if I never feel inspired again? Those are all energies around the 10 of Wands. It's this thing felt so good, and somehow, some way, I've corrupted that. And I don't say that with any judgment, dude. I'm the queen of trying to keep things that I need to let go of. But this corruption of this feels good, and so I kind of corrupt it with my grasp. That's the best word for it. How can I open my hands and just have faith that what is good will be there always. There will always be something to appreciate and enjoy about life. And sometimes the biggest gift I can offer the people I love, the world, fire, energy, art, inspiration, is to just open my hands to be I know there's more. I know it's infinite. I know it will never cease. Life does not rest. Life keeps lifing. And I feel probably for many of us, that has come home to roost in October. That has landed more heavily at our feet. If you have taken time to carve out space, do you notice how quickly that space gets filled? Do you ever have 3 days in a row where you're wow, it's quiet, it's peaceful, and then bam, someone, something, some need comes bubbling to the surface? Life is constant and dynamic, and we push through it with some, agenda or idea, and really we can sit back pretty significantly from where we've leaned in and still have a very active, dynamic life. We are just more present in it. This is one of those ones, I don't know if I made any sense. I'm not feeling 100%. But I had a beautiful wand moment this past weekend. I was at my college, my 25th college reunion. Dude, we had so much fun. We just laughed and it felt warm and happy and joyful. And I was in it in this way of being this may or may not ever happen again. And this is a beautiful, precious moment. And I am so fully here for it, and the level of joy I felt just filled me to the bone. It felt so good. I'm a little exhausted now. Life didn't stop lifing while I was gone, and I'm not quite as young as I used to be, so I feel a little tired from a couple nights of no sleep, but it was such a beautiful moment. How could I ever resist it? How could I ever want it to be other than what it was? And that's the energy I want you to bring into whatever is in your life in this week ahead. There's going to be a very clear call to put down the things that you were awkwardly carrying. Put down the responsibilities, the bindings that aren't really yours to carry, and certainly aren't being carried in a way that benefits you or nourishes you. And see what happens. Just see what happens. I really encourage you. I feel I'm always being just stand still. In this week ahead, I wonder what it would be if you stood still a little bit more. I'm practicing that in my own life, and the results are fantastic. The results are in, it's fantastic. You realize that the less you do, the more you're able to be with what's happening and the more ease that comes. So I offer that to you, and I hope that you can find a little bit more ease in the week ahead. I hope that the things that are burdening you, you're able to put down. I hope I pray the moon and the eclipse energy allows them to be put down in a way that is easy and as harmonious as possible. Fire energy is meant to fly free. So anything that you want to nurture in terms of a spark of heat and inspiration and passion and creativity and fire, you want to hold it loosely. You want to let it sparkle and shine and move and flow. Let it be the dynamic, warm energy that it's meant to be. And any part of you that feels you have to clench in, clench down, I don't know. Get curious about that. Practice what it might be like to let it go instead. 10 of Wands says, we are tired. Even after this month of rest, there's a lot happening. The universe is encouraging you to put down the heavy things. May it be so. May you feel free. May you feel lighter. May you feel, may you have your face to the sky, your face to the sun, instead of so focused on how hard it's been. May you look up and get curious about what might be next, what might be revealing itself as you raise your eyes to the horizon, raise your eyes to the sun. Okay, beautiful people, so much love in this last week of October. Take good care of yourself. Such an emotional full moon. I have been crying. I have had this deep sensitivity to the brevity of life in so many different ways. The miracle of life. It makes my heart hurt, man. It makes me happy, but it makes my heart hurt. I offer to you that it's okay if you're feeling a little emotional, and it's okay if you're not sure how to put things down. This space is going to help you do that. This time is meant to do just that. Ah, the great dying away that is the fall season. I'm a fall baby. I love it. I send you so much love. May the universe support you in all ways and all things, and may you feel just how precious, how sacred you are. Okay, cutie pie. Talk to you later. Bye. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you are pure potential. It's giving mystical.